So in yoga classes, a lot of the times the teacher will say, set your intention. Um, but I don't think most people really know what this means. And I just Googled like set your intention yoga. And I'm on like one of the first few things on yoga. There's a list. It's like I am loved, I am enough, I am present, I am proud. Like you pick one of these things. Um, Gratitude. I don't know. Maybe some people are like mentally powerful enough to like say that's their intention and somehow it connects with their body. I don't think most people can do that. For most people, that's just like thinking about a word a few times as you're doing your practice. Is that really an intention? I don't know. Um, but here's kind of three more physical intentions that you can do. So we're all on a spectrum of how much are we following the teacher versus how much are we kind of doing our own thing. And in general, if you go to a class, more people are following the teacher. You don't see people, it's not just totally random, but you might see some people doing a little, hanging out in a child's pose a little longer, or they're just sitting there looking defeated. Um, so one intention could be, I'm gonna really follow the teacher. I'm gonna like do the poses she's saying when she's doing them. That doesn't mean I have to like snap into them or anything like harshly like some people do. You can stay kind of soft, but I'm gonna really follow the teacher. It's gonna be challenging. So you can do that as an intention. And another intention is I'm gonna be a little more following what I feel like doing today. I had a bad day. I'm going to do this, or I had a great day and I want to do some more handstands. I want to do handstands tonight during the practice more. So you can kind of follow your own guidance a little more. And before I say the third, I'm going to talk a little bit more about these. So if you're in a physical class in the yoga studio with other people, you're going to probably most people tend to fall more on the end of following the teacher. And so if you're gonna set an intention of being more in my own, you don't want to be like a jerk about it. You don't want to get in the middle of the class and you're doing handstands in this beginner yoga class, but you can kind of tell the teacher, hey, I'm working with this intention of kind of listening to my body more, kind of doing what I feel it needs. So I'm going to be over here in this corner trying to do that today, so don't worry about me if you see me a little like off from the group. But it's a good time to kind of lean into that intention a little bit, because if you're doing yoga at home, you're going to be more likely to, I'm going to do my own thing. You're going to fall more on that end, meaning a lot of time your own thing is, I want to go text over here. I'm going to go do that. Like a lot of people can't do yoga at home. Like, I just can't do it. I need like the group around me. So that's a good time to set an intention of, I am going to be rigid. I'm going to follow this YouTube teacher on the screen or whatever. And when you're in the classroom, that's time to flirt with that other intention, because it's a little different than what you probably normally do. So those are two physical intentions. And the third is to breathe. And you probably heard this one before. Breathe when you're doing yoga. You're supposed to breathe when you're doing yoga. Well, you can only breathe kind of easily if you're able to do the poses easily, if you're find the ease in your body. So you're not going to be able to just randomly, I'm going to do the same thing I normally do, but I'm going to breathe perfectly the whole time. That's not where to start with that. You kind of have to dial back the practice to make it a little easier to stay. Oh man, I don't think if I get in this sidearm plank and I'm there, my legs up, I don't think I'm going to be able to breathe. So today I'm just going to stay in the child's pose there, or I'm going to stay in my downward dog. So it's sort of a version of the second way that I described, of being more on your own terms, but with the direction of allowing those terms to allow you to breathe more. So dial it back a little bit if you want to breathe. Really focus on your breathe. If you find yourself losing that, maybe dial it back even more. So those are three intentions to your physical practice that can kind of transform it can kind of aid in growth of your practice. One more bonus intention, just because it kind of relates to these in terms of the first, if you're being rigid with the teacher, if your body's rigid, snap into this. Reverse. You see people like doing it like this versus kind of just being, All right, warrior two. And then the arms just kind of fall up, reverse. And I'm just kind of, I'm more flowy versus like from shape to shape to shape to shape. It's a different thing happening within your body to practice that way. So with the rigidity of following the teacher, it doesn't necessarily mean rigidity of the body, but that's a way to do it too. I'm not saying it's bad inherently, but I'm just saying your approach to rigidity in the body and your softness in the body and your flow are kind of two more intentions that relate loosely to the ones before, but are different too. All right, peace.